Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have not filmed for such a long time. It is crazy. It was of course Christmas and New Year's. I did take some time off, but I actually had to move out of my apartment like a couple of days before Christmas. So that was a bit of a nightmare. So it's actually taken me a really long time to get sorted in this new space. So I apologize that this video is well overdue, but here I am filming my favorite products for 2017. Even though it is overdue, I still really wanted to do it because these are things that I have loved, that I have used heaps, and that I think you guys will love too. So I still thought it was really important to do this video. So yeah, let's get into it. It's really funny because I've been doing makeup, it'll be like 13 years this year since I first started assisting and doing makeup. And when I first started, there were not many foundations that I liked at all. Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk was one that I use, and I use that every day on my clients and on myself personally. And there was also Face and Body, which I loved on my clients, but it didn't work so well on my skin. So they were really the two foundations that I used most, and there weren't that many other foundations that were amazing. Like, they were very common to see in makeup artist kits. But now there are so many epic foundations on the market. I'm only going to share two of them with you today, but so many brands are doing such great foundations and it makes me so happy. I'm going to start with the foundation that I've probably used the most over the last 2 or 3 years, I reckon it might be. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder Foundation. If I were to make a foundation, this would be it. This is like everything that I could want in a product. It's just the most epic texture. I love not only the feel of applying it, not that I really use my fingers to apply it, but I can tell immediately from application that I love it, and I love how it wears on my skin throughout the day. Keep in mind that I have normal to dry skin. Actually, it's not even dry. I would say normal to dehydrated skin. So I don't often get actual flaky dry patches, and I don't really get oily. And this works brilliantly on my skin. I love it so much. It is so good. The only thing I will say about this product is that, so in Australia, we have had extremely hot weather. In Sydney, it's been ridiculous. We have had weeks, like we'll have a whole week of like 40 degrees out where I live, or like 35 degrees. And then we'll have like a break for maybe 2 days if we're lucky, and then it goes back to being 40 degrees for another week. So it is extremely hot, extremely humid. So the only thing I would say is that it may not last as long as some other products if you're in super duper hot weather. And I mean, that's challenging for any product, but this is like a light, I would say a light to medium coverage. It's not super sheer, but it's just gorgeous on the skin. It's super like balmy and dewy and glowy. So I wouldn't say that it would last as well as some other foundations, particularly if you get oily. I would say try it. I don't know anyone with oily skin that's specifically tried this over a long term. For my friend's wedding recently, it was out on a boat. It was super warm weather, like 35 degrees, I'm gonna say. And we were right in the sun, so we had every opportunity to get sweaty. So instead of wearing this alone, I actually mixed it with a longer lasting foundation. I often mix foundations, part of being a makeup artist. I think that's just something that we do. Absolutely not necessary, but like I will still wear this. I'll just add something a little longer lasting. So the combination I used for that was the Light Wonder. And I do that also because this is like the perfect shade for my tan that I use as well. And then I mix it with the Clinique Even Better Glow Foundation. So this little baby here is quite new to me. I would say I've been using it for maybe 4 months, no, maybe 5 months now. It hasn't been in my repertoire as long as the Light Wonder, but this is also an epic foundation. And what I love about it is that I actually think it would work really well on oilier skins as well. It definitely has a longer lasting quality to it. It's not quite as balmy as this, but it's definitely still glowy. It's also SPF 15. Again, it's like glowy, it's for luminous skin. Separately, they're amazing. Together, they're amazing. So yeah, I've had so much use out of these. Medium 6 is a shade that I use most for the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wonder. It just works with my tan perfectly. The Clinique, I actually have a few shades that I use. This one's number 12, so if I'm kind of like losing my tan, that's what I use. The other one I use, if I don't have a tan, it's number 10, Alabaster. It's a rare occasion though. And then the other one that I would use when I'm like this kind of tan is WN38 Stone. So I like my foundation shades to be neutral, not too yellow. Okay, onto concealer, and I have two that I've really used a lot over the past year. The first one I'm going to talk to you about is the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I'm going to say that this is quite a liquidy concealer. It's a little bit more liquid than, say, the NARS Creamy Concealer and the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. It is quite similar to them, but I just feel like this one's a little more runny, a little more liquidy. I love this. I wear it daily. I've got it on right now. It is not the most full coverage product ever. NARS Creamy Concealer would give you more full coverage. However, on my under eyes, it's too drying. So this is super duper hydrating, which my under eyes just seem to need. Anything too drying just doesn't look right. In saying that, the other concealer that I love is the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer, which I've used heaps of. These, by the way, I've gone through maybe 4. Like, I've used that a lot as well. This one, for some reason, still works on my skin really nicely. So it must be quite hydrating, even though it's kind of like a pomade kind of texture to it. And again, it's called soft matte. So the word matte generally doesn't make my skin look its best, but this looks so good on. It's much fuller coverage than the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. Again, I will often mix these two. This one for the coverage, this one for the extra hydration. Again, not necessary, just what I like to do. So these are two products that I get so much use out of. I absolutely love them. I would say I use this one a little more than I use this, but I mean, if I'm packing to go somewhere, they're both coming with me, for sure. Okay, so this is a duo that I'm absolutely obsessed with. I spent a night away with Charlotte Tilbury. I actually can't remember what month that was. I'm gonna say maybe that was like in July. So I received these then, and as soon as I saw them, I knew I had to try them, and they lived up to every single expectation and wish and hope that I had wanted. So this one here is a contour. It's called the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand. I'll show you what it looks like. So it's kind of like, so this is what it looks like. It has this little like sponge applicator. So you twist it like open and shut. You don't need to squeeze it that hard. Like if you start seeing a lot of product come out the top, you got too much, it goes a long, long way. So I literally just get the tiniest little amount where I can like see it kind of like move here. Like I'll just see a little bit, and then that's where I leave it, and then I twist it and it's off. And that will probably last me like 2 or 3 goes. A little goes a really long way. So the shade, this is a shade medium dark, which I use when I'm super tanned. It has a little bit more of like a reddy tone to it, in a good way though. It looks really good on the skin. Then the fair to medium is a super like ashy kind of shade. Both are perfect for contouring, but I kind of like contour and then like bring it up a little because it's also kind of nice as a little bit of a bronzer, but I'm not saying that you should put it in all your bronzing spots, but like you can let it kind of blend in a little, you know. So they are gorgeous. And then there's a Hollywood Beauty Light Wand, which is a liquid highlight. So same thing, same kind of applicator. However, I do use a lot more of this than I do of the contour. Even though a little goes a long way, you know, I like to be extra highlighted, so I put it everywhere, and I'll like just like slap it on in all the places, and then I just blend it out with my finger. It is so stunning. These are so creamy, so if I'm having like a natural makeup day, sometimes if I'm not even contouring, I'll just chuck this over top of foundation, do my brows, curl my lashes, and I'm out of there. It just looks so beautiful on the skin. Highly recommend trying those if you haven't already. The other highlight that I'm obsessed with is the Anastasia Glow Kit in the shade Sun Dipped. In saying that, I do mostly just use these 2 shades here, so Summer and Moonstone, and I often will use a mix of them, but they are just like gorgeous. like gorgeous highlights. So, so, so beautiful. This one's obviously more yellow. This one's a little bit more pinky kind of. It's actually kind of like similar-ish to Soft and Gentle by MAC in its tones, but these are like a super like wet looking highlight, which I really like. They don't sit on the skin heavily, whereas some highlights I've noticed really do. I'll find like a lot of highlights that I really like the shade of and the intensity of, but then on my skin, I just feel like they sit, and then I feel like they make my, not even my pores, but like my texture kind of, I had to look at myself in the mirror then. I was like, what do they affect? They just make the texture not look as nice on my skin, and I find myself like smothering my face in Fix Plus by MAC. Not that I don't anyway, but I feel like I'd really need to like push the product down, whereas these just like glide on and look gorgeous. The other product that I've really returned to loving is MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Soft and Gentle. I can't believe I just broke it. I'm so gutted. Another epic highlight. I've got it on right now. I've used the Soft and Gentle for such a long time. Years and years and years, and then for a couple of years I stopped because I discovered like Anastasia and some other highlights. I also love the Becca highlights. So I kind of slowed down on using it for a while, even though I knew I loved it. But then last year, 2017, I just decided to revisit it, and I'm so glad that I did. I absolutely love it. I really just love how it looks on my skin. I just think it looks so glowy. The color just works with my skin tone really well. It pops. Today I applied it, then I sprayed with Fix Plus, and then I applied it again, so it's like a little wet looking. I just think it's a stunning highlight. If you haven't tried it, another one I highly recommend everything I'm talking about today, but this one is truly gorgeous if you haven't found a highlight that you love yet. In case it wasn't already obvious, I love liquids and creams. They look great on everyone's skin. I particularly love them on my skin as well. I will often just wear creams all over rather than powdering. And another product that I truly love is the NARS Laguna Liquid Bronzer. So this is like their famous Laguna powder bronzer, but in a liquid form. And I mean, you can tell I've used it heaps. Like, this bottle is so nasty. Probably needs a bit of an Ajax wipe. The shade is beautiful. It blends onto the skin in a beautiful way. There was quite a few months there where not a day would go by where I did not use this product. I'm obsessed with it. I obviously have the Charlotte Tilbury products now, which are kind of easier to carry in terms of size, but I still love this. It's still in my makeup kit, which sits right next to me if you wonder why I always look down there. Just checking everything's still there. Yeah, this is a really beautiful product. It blends into the skin so beautifully. It works well with all of those products that I've been talking about in terms of foundations and concealers. So beautiful on the skin. Let's do eyeshadows now. So there are 3 palettes that I'm going to show you. I really have realized over the last couple of years I'm such a palette girl. I really don't use individual eyeshadows that much anymore. I just like to have options, you know? I feel like this first one may come as a little bit of a surprise to some people, but I have to say I have never used a palette on myself as much as I have used this one on myself. I've used others in my makeup kit, I've used them heaps more, but since I got this, which was, I'm gonna say maybe early 2017, I don't know, maybe late 2016, I've used this so much, and what's weird is it doesn't even look like I have, but I use it all the time. So this is the Kylie Cosmetics The Bronze Palette. You can see it's like well loved, well used. The packaging is so cute, and it's a bit of a mess inside, but it's real. Isn't that so weird? Like, I feel like you can't quite see just how much I've really used it by looking at this. Maybe that's a good thing though. Maybe that shows how long the product lasts. I don't know. I have to say there's some colors that I don't use as much. Like, I don't really use this shade very much, and I don't really use this shade very much. But like these 2, 3, 4, like these 4 would be my favorites. It's just like warm and bronzy and really beautiful. When I'm doing my own makeup, I really do stick with like a certain shade range, and I kind of tend to find that shade range in all the different palettes that I get. So the next palette that I've used a ton is Chloe Morello and Ciate's collaboration Pretty Fun and Fearless Volume 1. I'm sure now that you've seen the shades, there's no surprise why. These ones and like the golds and like this beautiful one here, I absolutely adore and I wear them all the time. But yeah, again, beautiful, warm, neutral, natural looking shades. Great formula as well. The third palette is the Z palette that I made with Makeup Geek eyeshadows. So I've bought all of these individually. So I've chosen all of these to make sure that I get the most use out of them. I mean, I don't want to lie to you and say I use this one all the time because I don't, but I have used it before and it does look epic on. But again, the shades I use the most are quite similar. Again, the formula is epic. These are really cheap to buy individually, and then you can just buy the palette and chuck them in there so that they're safe and then all kept together. I think you can even get smaller Z palettes, so you could get like a half size one. It's just an awesome way to like customize exactly what shadows you will use the most. Even then, like there's some up here which I haven't really used that much. I really am quite the creature of habit. Maybe I will talk through a couple of my favorite brow products. The Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil is probably not new to a lot of you. However, it kind of really did feel quite new to me when I started using it. I think I had used it before, my memory's failing me, but I really fell in love with it in 2017. I use the shade number 2. I've got it on now. It's just a really easy way of getting really natural looking brows because it's so fine. It's really, really fine. So you can mimic your brow hairs and make it look really natural if you've got the time. I feel like this is a must-have in your makeup kit. Ooh, another brow product that I've really loved that I actually thought had been discontinued, but then I bought some on the website the other day is the 1000 Hour Eyebrow Mascara in Clear. This holds your brows so well. Unfortunately, when you scoop, you're scooping in one spot, so there's like product in there that I can't seem to reach, but I have just bought 2 more so that I can stock up while I can. I think it must be like about $10 to buy, and I actually would go as far to say that this is the best brow gel I've ever used. I put it through my brows and then I flatten them to my brow, and that makes them look really naturally fluffy even though they're not naturally full, but having those defined brow hairs in between the pencil just makes it look really natural and fluffy and full. And I would now go as far as to say that I like need to have this in my kit. I've now got my brows down pat with this and the pencil, and I just can't live without it. It's definitely a must-have. Now for mascara, and I have 2 favorites that I'm an absolute die-hard fan for. We've got the Too Faced Better Than Sex and the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir. So the difference, I like both of these equally. They separate my lashes really nicely. Today I'm wearing the Marc Jacobs Velvet Noir. Sometimes, again, I mix them. I'm a spoilt brat, I know, I like to do these things. But you just get such a good result, like 2 coats of these and you have epic lashes. And one other thing I should say, also Too Faced is available at Mecca, Marc Jacobs is available at Sephora. So there you go. So that's 2 points that differentiate them. So if you're a Mecca girl, go get Too Faced Better Than Sex. If you're a Sephora girl, go get the Marc Jacobs. If you love all makeup, you should go get them both. The other thing I will say that I've absolutely loved in 2017, still doing it now, is curling my lashes. These are the Mecca Cosmetica lash curlers. I love them because they're gold. Also because they make my lashes so damn curly and I just love it. I've always had really long lashes since as long as I can remember. And when I was young, I couldn't really curl them because they'd kind of curl back into themselves. But as I've gotten a bit older, I feel like my lashes are getting straighter. Not shorter, thankfully, just yet, but definitely straighter. So now I'm curling them. Some days all I do is curl them and people think I have mascara on. But I mean, it just makes a huge difference. My lashes are just perky and curly, and if you aren't using a lash curler and you have quite straight lashes, I highly recommend getting on that because it will just like change your life. Change your life. Now I'm just going to talk you through a few lip products. I have to say I use different lip products a lot and I get like hooked on them and I use them for a while. but these three I've really loved. So the first one is the Clinique Quick Liner for Lips Intense in number 1 Intense. I can't even read that because it's coming off. This is my third one of these. Oh yeah, I do still have a little bit left. It's just like a gorgeous natural kind of peachy nude shade. And I actually love how waxy the formula is. It lasts really nicely. I'll often just wear this and then a clear lip balm just to make my lips look a little bit fuller. Or the other product I love to wear with it is the Marc Jacobs Enamored High Shine Lip Lacquer in the shade Pretty Thing, number 318. This is another product that I absolutely love. It lives in my handbag. Actually, both of the lip liners that I'm showing you live in my handbag as well. The other day I counted 9 lip products, and like my handbag's only like this big and I had 9 lip products in there. But this one I wear all the time, and it's just nice to have like a little bit of color. It just gives like this really nice kind of peachy tone to the lips, which I really like. This next one is a more recent obsession of mine. This is the Marc Jacobs Pout Liner Longwear Lip Pencil in the shade Nudist. This color is so beautiful. It's actually not that dissimilar to the Clinique. It's just a little bit more nudie. But again, the formula is super waxy. It's actually really similar to the Highliner. The Marc Jacobs Highliner is my favorite eyeliner, which I actually forgot to put in this collection. But it's super waxy, so it lasts a really long time. It goes on like a gel, but dries really well. So this is really great for the lips because obviously you don't want something that's going to budge super easily. I will touch on primer and setting sprays for a second, just because I do use them a lot. The primer I've been using a lot lately is the Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 primer. This also does come in a like a gel, you know, not a spray. This is a spray. So it does come in more like a creamier version. However, this makes it so damn easy to apply and like clean face, and then you spritz it with this and your primer's done. You then put foundation on. It's just so handy, it looks so good. You can also set your makeup with it. I do prefer the MAC Prep and Prime Fix Plus for setting, but again, I will often use this for primer. These are awesome because they either intensify a product before you apply it, like say highlighter or a shimmer eyeshadow, or they make powders blend really nicely into your skin rather than having that kind of powdered finish. I mean, I would say this particularly is an absolute must-have in your makeup bag. I realize that not everyone has a makeup bag, a personal makeup bag the size of mine, so it does also come in a travel size. I'm now going to tell you a couple of fake tans that I really love, but I have to tell you, I use new fake tanning products all the time. I'm sent a lot of it. Even if I'm not sent it, there's a lot that I want to try. So I often don't reuse them. And if I do reuse them, that means that I seriously like love them. They just work perfectly for me. So there's 2 that I've used a lot throughout. Actually, one of them I haven't used a lot, but I would repurchase this many times because it's more new to me. And then the other one I've reused many times. So the first one that I use a lot, I don't have here in front of me because I've run out. I go through fake tan. Actually, I don't go through it super quickly, but I mean, I do fake tan weekly, so I do get through them. So the first one is a Bondi Sands Ultra Dark Tanning Mousse. It's such a beautiful shade. I always use 2 coats of it. I always do 2 coats of my tan. I can't stand it when I have a tan that I have to scrub so hard that my skin is like red raw to get it off, because I tan back to back. So if I'm scrubbing my skin raw and then half an hour later I have to tan over top, A, it doesn't feel good, and B, I feel like the skin is so like soft and supple at that point and like tender that the tan doesn't even hold properly. So I don't like tans that do that. So the Bondi Sands Ultra Dark is good, gets the thumbs up from me. And the other one that I've really been loving, which I only got my hands on recently, is the Le Tan Uber Dark for olive skin tone. So this is a violet based tan. I laugh because I actually don't have a naturally olive undertone in my skin. I mean, my family are half English, so I have very pale skin naturally. I could tan if I go in the sun. My skin is naturally very pale. Occasionally it might have a slightly yellow undertone, but generally it's just like an eggshell color if I don't tan. So it's kind of funny that I use the violet base because this is for people that have naturally olive skin tones. However, I think it works really nicely on my skin. People don't even know that I fake tan until it's like end of the week when it's scrub time. So yeah, I think this one works really well on my skin, and it also creates a skin tone that my foundations work really nicely with. So yeah, that's kind of what I go for. I try not to go for a tan that's like too yellowy or too orangey. I just don't like the look of it on myself. So olive skin tones, violet base tans work really well for me. Highly recommend this. I'm not going to talk too much about skincare because I think it's a really personal thing, and you'll see when I do posts on skincare on Instagram or whatever, like I try and tell you like who it's for, who it's suited to, because I know all of us are different and what works on me may not work on you. So for my favorites, I'm just going to talk through a few products that I think universally are epic. So the first one you would have seen me use tons, it's the Body Shop Oils of Life. This is a gorgeous facial oil. Gorgeous, I mean it is a gorgeous bottle. It's a really nice facial oil. I use this all the time if I'm feeling a little bit dehydrated, if I want extra moisturization on my skin, if I want my face to look really glowy under my, if I want my face to look glowy, if I want my base to look really glowy. This is my jam. It just feels so good on the skin, and it's something I use all the time, and I would highly recommend it. Universally, this is a really great product for hydration. What I use to remove my makeup totally depends on a few things. How much makeup I'm wearing, how bothered I can be to remove it, how my skin's feeling. So I really mix it up a bit. Sometimes I use micellar water, sometimes I use cleansing balms, but more often than not, recently, I've been using the face halo a lot. I have a ton of these. They're basically a makeup removal pad. They're made of microfibers, so your makeup kind of like magnetizes to it almost. Like it just really grips your makeup and takes it all off. Like even this matte lipstick, it would be straight off. And reusable, and it saves you using makeup wipes all the time. So they're another great product to keep. In terms of body, the Body Shop is where it's at for me. You guys know I love the Body Shop. I do work with them a lot, but I genuinely love them so much. The Almond Milk and Honey launch was, I think it was in 2017, and like I have flogged these products. Like I reckon I've gone through maybe 4 of these body butters already. I reckon I've gone through like 3 of these body lotions already. I do moisturize at least once a day, particularly because I fake tan, so sometimes it's twice if I really need to hydrate. But this is so good. Their body butters in general are epic. The Almond Milk and Honey one smells so good. It's so moisturizing. It also comes with like a shower milk. There's also a body scrub, but it just smells so good and it feels good on your skin, and it's for sensitive skin. I've really used these a lot, and I couldn't not mention them because I use them all the time and I absolutely love them. So that is it. I say that's it like it wasn't that much. I feel like I've talked you through like everything I own. They are all my favorite products for 2017 and my most used products for 2017, and still moving into 2018, they're still some of my most used products. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and like it, and leave a comment if you liked it. Also, I'd highly advise turning on your notifications, because there has been like an issue where subscriptions aren't being shown properly, and also in your subscription feed you might want to click most recent, because now it's just showing like top videos, which means as a small creator you're probably not going to see my videos that much. So if you do want to see them, click the notification bell, check that you're seeing your most recent subscriptions, and hopefully that you'll see more of me and I'll hear more from you. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you real soon.